Welcome, everyone, to another episode of The Mind Shift Show. I am your host, Pamela Bloomfield. I help empty nest moms transition from uncertainty to a life filled with joy and vibrant purpose, guiding them towards exciting new chapters. And I'm so glad to have everyone here today with us. I have a special guest. Yes, I do. And her name is Stephanie Platt. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Stephanie, and then I'll bring her up so that we can all meet her and have a conversation. So, Stephanie Platt is the founder of the Lotus Bloom, a neuro-linguistic programming NLP practice dedicated to helping parents and individuals transform their limiting beliefs and reclaim their power. With a deep passion for guiding families affected by eating disorders, Stephanie specializes in supporting parents of teens navigating these challenges, as well as parents on their own journeys to healing and growth. Having experienced firsthand the transformative power of NLP, Stephanie uses tools like reframing, timeline therapy, and anchoring to help others rewrite their internal narratives and discover their resilience, creating new beliefs within themselves. Her work is rooted in compassion, connection, and the belief that every struggle can bloom into strength. Known for her approachable style and ability to make even the heaviest topics feel lighter, Stephanie brings a blend of wisdom and humor to every conversation. When she's not empowering others, you might find her spending time with her family, hiking with her dogs, sipping tea, and daydreaming about her next big idea. She is a manifesting generator, so she loves to dabble in many things. You can find Stephanie on Facebook and join her private group for NLP and supporting those affected by eating disorders. Or visit her website to learn more about her mission and her work. The Lotus Bloom NLP.com. So I'm going to bring up Stephanie so you can all meet her. Hi, Stephanie.
Hi, Pamela. Thank you for the beautiful introduction. I couldn't have said it all better. That was wonderful.
You
Thank
are
you.
so welcome. We have been trying to do this for such a long time. So I'm glad that we're finally connected. So I noticed in your bio that you love tea.
Yes, I do.
So we
It could
have
be
that in
anything
common.
from chai tea, lattes, mates. There's a tea shop around the corner from my house, so I always love to
Hmm.
explore. My newest exploration was the lavender tea. It was a lavender vanilla, and when you made it, it turned purple, and I just thought that was
Wow.
so cool.
Oh, I've never tried that one before. Okay, I have to add that one to my list. I'm a herbal girl, so I love all the peppermints and the
Mm,
chai. I love all those. I make sure to have a cup of tea every night.
absolutely.
Soothe everything down. Okay, so let's dive in. Tell me now. Tell us about the Lotus Bloom and how it began.
Yeah, well, it was a kind of a special time in life when things all started to align for me. The Lotus Bloom is a space where I dedicate to helping individuals transform their limiting beliefs with NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. And it was started because I noticed the lack of immediate help in 2020 when I was feeling as though I kind of needed this tool to help navigate my daughter and her anxiety. So there was anxiety, depression, and an eating disorder and disordered eating. And as a parent, when you're navigating those mental health, you want to get some help so you're not feeling stuck. And so NLP
Mhm.
came to me through a program that I had joined, um, a coaching program with other women, and it was part of that program that was offered to me. And I thought, well, I'm kind of busy trying to help my daughter, but let me go ahead and jump into NLP. And as I became certified in a matter of weeks, I was like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I needed to help my daughter. It was like I had asked for it and it had come to me. So
Wow.
I wanted to create another space for other individuals to have this so they can provide healing and growth for them as well. And the
Right.
name Lotus Bloom came to me because it kind of resembled or symbolized the resilience, the growth, and the beauty. You know, much like the lotus flower will grow
Mhm.
from the muddy water. And so that was
Mhm.
just something into something beautiful.
That is an amazing story. Really an amazing story. And so you used that as a tool to help your family, to help your
Yes.
daughter.
Yep.
That is just amazing. And I love the name Lotus Bloom.
Thank
The-
you. Yeah,
Just the word
it fit
bloom.
perfect.
Yes, 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 yes. So for our listeners who might not be familiar with it, tell us exactly what is neurolinguistic, your neurolinguistic program.
Sure. So neuro-linguistic programming, otherwise known as NLP,
Mm-hmm.
founded by Richard Bandler and John Grinder, and it's essentially a way of understanding relationships between thoughts, which are the neuro, right, and linguistic, and then behavior is the programming. So NLP is the study of behaviors and the successful thoughts that produce them. So we can
Mm-hmm.
create neural pathways from healthy habits and thoughts, and as we navigate those behaviors. So the premise in that is like changing the way we think and communicate with ourselves. And we can change how we feel and how we behave. So it works with identifying patterns in thoughts and behaviors that are maybe holding us back. And so we can help reframe or replace them with healthier ones. And it's like upgrading your mind with software. It's just to
Mm-hmm.
it creates a better version of yourself in the end.
Right. And I always say whatever we think, it comes actually comes through the mouth.
Yeah,
Right?
it's
So
so true.
whatever our thoughts are, we want to make sure it's always positive so that we can also communicate positively too. I have this thing that I usually say to my empty nest moms, whatever comes out your mouth, your ears are listening. So be
Yep.
careful what you think about yourself. Be careful what you communicate about yourself because the mind is really, really powerful. And so, as you
Yes.
said, the neurolinguistic, that's all to do with the patterns of behavior, also your thought patterns. I love that concept. Love that
You know,
concept.
it's funny. I always tell my kids, you have two ears and one mouth. Use them wisely.
That's a good one, too. That's a good
I
one.
do come with a
So
little sense of humor.
you should. You should. We all need that, especially with what's going on around us in this world. So much negativity. So we
Yeah.
have to have a lot of humor all blended in. Stephanie, supporting parents of teens we know with eating disorders is really challenging. But tell me, what unique challenges do you find that the families are facing?
So, supporting parents of teens with eating disorders or disordered eating is incredibly challenging because they've got the environment that they're in,
Mhm.
and there's so much fear, confusion, and misinformation. And then throw a medical provider into it, and you're going to get information overload because they love to hand you pamphlets. This was my experience.
Mhm.
We went from a primary care physician to a specialist, and I think I came home with probably 10 or 12 pamphlets about all these different eating disorders,
Wow.
and it felt a bit overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Now you want to throw in the part where your children are at a certain age And then certain states and certain requirements don't allow the parents to be in the room with the kids. So now the kids are trying to navigate and advocate for their own selves, and that becomes a bit more challenging. So then often what happens is then the parents feel powerless, like I did. And because I can't directly fix what's going on, NLP allows me to offer tools that can help them guide with like anxiety and better habits. And then what I do at Lotus Bloom is I work with families to provide those tools, and then it empowers them in the healing process.
Mm, that's beautiful. Now, about how many, do you have an estimate of how many parents have come into the program so far? What's the interest level like?
It wavers,
Mm-hmm.
because there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of
Yes,
anxiety, and you're
yes.
embracing something that's new. And then you get started, and then there's the events that happen with your children. And so then the fear and scarcity plays in, like, oh, this isn't going to work. And then I
Mm-hmm.
have those that it does work. And I had an individual, we weren't dealing with eating disorders or disordered eating, but we were dealing with issues like anger, fear, and hurt, and a situation where a lot of families are blended families. And this individual had a child who would take a chair and throw it, and as a form of anger and communication. And so
Mm-hmm.
I was able to help her kind of better understand her situation and maybe the thoughts she's thinking and the words and feelings she's having. And we are able to find an anchor for her. So now when she feels that anger, she feels that frustration or needs to calm down, she can, her, I can't remember what hers was, but sometimes it's just the thumb and the finger touching,
Mm-hmm.
where that sends a signal to your body that, okay, I can remember that I'm okay and I can choose a different response. What am I saying to myself? And then harness that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, with the parents, Stephanie, how do you find that they are actually coping now that you give them the tools? Do you find that
Oh,
they're more open towards it once they have the tools at
yes,
home?
yes.
At home.
It's pretty amazing. So they some I've had parents come back and like, okay, so that really worked doing this and this experience, and now I want to apply it to this. So some want to apply it to maybe the work they're in. Some want to apply it into relationships, and we have so many different things that we can apply this to in our life. So I've had many
Mm-hmm.
come back, and then we experience it in different levels. So NLP can be through so many different channels. It's just a holistic approach that includes, a different dynamic and a part of
Love it.
self-care.
Yes. Yes. Which we know we all need. Oh my goodness. Self care is so important. I started
Yeah.
a self care regimen every Wednesday that I call Refresh and Renew. Instead of
Yeah.
relax, the R, I turned it refresh and renew. We all need the
I
self
love it.
care. So congratulations for implementing that too in the program. All right.
Yeah.
So do you, how do you balance your personal interests with your professional life?
Habits, right? Creating
Yes.
those
Uh-huh.
habits, exercise and wellness is very important to me. Self-care is very important. And so what I practice is what I preach. And so I want to make sure that I'm up in the morning, I'm actively drinking my morning tea. I have a
Yeah.
specific drink that I drink, so it has cinnamon and turmeric in it, and cayenne to kind of activate things.
All
I make
right.
sure that I'm doing daily exercise, and um, gosh, let's see, prioritizing. I read. I like to do some self care reading. Um, I just finished a great book by Mel Robbins. Let Them, amazing book.
Yes. Yes.
And I spend
I
time with my
started
family.
that book.
Oh, I
Yes.
couldn't put it down. So good. So I was like,
Yes.
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 So I'm very passionate about, nurturing and creating like the space for me, also as a reflection of what I do for my clients. And I do it through Zoom
Mhm,
calls. Sometimes when I'm
mhm.
doing my sessions, I'll bring in the music, and sometimes I'll play theta waves or other sound healing music for myself. But yeah, I like to create the space and the environment. Like right
Awesome.
now, I have my salt lamp going, and I've got my
Awesome.
plants next to me, and I've got water.
Yes,
So
yes, you need the plans.
yes.
Yes. So, Stephanie, how can someone find you? Or let's do this. If someone is a parent needs to get started, what's the
Mhm.
first step?
Well, I'd say if you're truly open to change, right? So that's number one. I know there's things that we dabble with and we don't truly commit to the things that we say we want to do. So you have to be open to change the habits that you want to create in your life for your new self, because
Hmm.
you're going to be reprogrammed. Think of it as like an upload, right? From your old self versus your new self. You're going to be thinking new
Hmm.
thoughts, creating new habits. I'm very passionate about helping others with the tools of NLP. So if
Hmm.
they're ready, then I can't pour into an empty cup. But
That's right.
when you make sure you take care of the emotional and well-being, you can find me at the lotusbloomnlp.com. Now my website is being a little repaired right now because I added some new fun things.
Okay.
So it will be ready, but I'm also on Facebook, and I'm creating a private group so that parents can come in and we can have kind of a meet and greet, and you just find your people and you find the support.
Love it. Love it. Stephanie, thank you so much for coming on to the podcast today. And I hope everyone took notes. So now you know a little bit more about NLP, the Neuro Linguistic Program that Stephanie is running. And we are going to put her information in my show notes so that you'll all have access to it as well. So, Stephanie, thank you so much again for taking the time. I'm glad we finally got a chance to connect and to see your tea. Happy sipping tonight.
Yes, thank you so much, Pamela. It's been a pleasure to be here and to share with everyone.
You're welcome. Take care.
You
All right,
too.
everyone. So I just want to say thank you to Stephanie, and I want to thank you, my listeners and watchers, for joining me on another episode of the Mind Shift Show. Now, remember, if you are open to change and you are ready for your own personal growth as an empty nest mom or as a professional woman over 40, please check out my website www.coachingyourgrowth.com, where you will get specialized care. I will be there as your support system to help you through your journey. Until next time, thank you again for joining. Take care.